Hello. Oh my god, now you're sideways.
Why am I sideways?
Because I'm vertical on my phone.
Ah, I see. Do you want me to just call you back from my phone now?
Yeah, what are you drinking?
Cider?
Cider?
Yeah.
Why do I not believe you? Okay, so what do you remember about T7D?
I remember it was a bunch of really old people.
Hi guys, I'm Sid. This is David. That's Patrick. And that's Anida. And that's Sean. Today the 7th Delusion decided to be generous and we are going to give out 50 dirhams to someone who works at the mall. So we're going to impress him with a little magic and then he'll get to keep a souvenir. Can we go around by doing magic? We have 5 dirhams. Yeah, 5 dirhams. It's fine. I have a 5 dirhams. Okay. So if I take a 5 dirham bill like that, right, hold it up just like that. Hold it up.
What are some of the things that you remember 7th Illusion for?
I definitely remember us for picking up a big group of discarded or infused individuals and giving them purpose.
Hey!
Yo, yo, yo.
It's Patricia!
DJ Fat Boy. What up, my man?
Man, I fucking miss you. Holy shit, it's so nice to see you again.
Yeah, I know, man. Me too.
Tell me, what do you remember about the 7th Illusion?
Wow, a bunch of stuff. Do you wanna maybe ask me a more specific question or just
Whatever you remember, like what comes like right off the top of your head?
off the top of my head? I don't know. I think in the interviews we did.
We got an interview with like Khalij Times or something, then another one with Gulf News.
I don't know. It was just a lot of fun, going to the offices of a magazine, a journal, and getting interviews like we were celebrities. So it was fun. It felt like they wanted to be they wanted to be established, but at the same time, they lacked that sense of the seriousness. They were too like up in the air.
I remember the fun parts about being in the 7th Delusion was the parts where we were not exactly doing magic.
There were a lot of different intentions that the entire group had. I feel like Zohair, he wanted to take the lead on this, and he wanted to make the group into something like a performing group that would go around at different venues and events and perform something.
We started performing like on a large scale in a way, like at Comic-Con and whatnot. But I think me and Zuhair were looking at it in a more commercial way.
When you joined the group, you joined it for the magic aspect of it, but in your mind, you wanted to bring, share the joy of magic via videos, like make it more publicly available rather than specific concert event. Like you don't want to be in the group and be famous and try to gather a big crowd, but you want people to watch and get inspired by it and move on.
The ways were pretty different, So I think like as a person, I think there was never really anything bad between us. I think it was just like how we dealt with performing and how we blended together. That's all. I don't think anything went wrong in between us as people, as
Right.
Friends.
What were your thoughts on Zohair? Like, what did you think about him at the time?
Zahair. At the very, very beginning when I met him, I thought he was a little bit shady.
We are at QB Swirl's office. We're waiting for the sponsor, the probable sponsor to come, and we're just doing magic. We're just having fun. Yeah. Are we? What, are we having fun, Zohair? Dude, you're pretty huge on Vimeo. Why? You started the group, didn't you, with the Zohair and Sid?
I was one of the 3 original members. Zohair was the real founder, I would say, and Sid and I were like co-founders. So at the time he was selling playing cards on, what's the name of the website?
Dubizzle?
I think.
Yeah.
So that's how I met him actually. I was looking for playing cards, I saw this guy online.
Then I tried from him a couple times. I was like, all right, this guy's legit. And then when he talked to me about the Magic group, I was like, okay, so now there's like a backstory. I want to know more.
So yeah, as I said, we were the 3 original members, and then very quickly we started expanding. We all hit up our friends and people we knew nearby that were magicians as well.
Like, I felt like I met some people that could take me somewhere. Like, some of them were better than me, some of them were as good as I was. So I felt like I could like learn from them.
Zohair uses magic for 2 purposes:
Yeah, and those are?
money and girls.
All throughout, I saw that Zohair kept like the same kind of like integrity, like the group comes first, and he was doing the work all the time, and he just took care of everyone. If we were doing something, he made sure everyone was compensated equally.
What Zohair was trying to do, he was trying to manage like, I don't know, like 25 people by himself, you know? So it's definitely not easy what he was doing.
Zohair at the time, when we created the group, Zohair was 19. I was 16 and Sid was 15, so even after we started hiring new members, Zohair was, I'm pretty sure he was the only adult at the time.
He was there like uncle, and he's like, okay, you go do this, you go do that, you go do this. Look,
Yeah.
like one particular memory I have is Comic-Con.
While we were prepping for Comic-Con, I had all these ideas for magic tricks.
I remember he ruined your performance
Mm-hmm.
or something along the lines of that. Like he didn't give you the freedom to do your own thing.
There were 2 very fascinating things that he told me that I still remember. One of them was don't create any magic tricks for stage, and the second one was don't overshadow me on stage.
What is that supposed to mean? Like, what do you mean overshadowing? Like, dude, like that's.
Yeah.
I don't accept that.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not an easy thing what he was trying to do. You know, trying to get sponsors and place and tickets and events and stuff like that. That's not an easy task. But you know, if it all comes down to what your goal is. Like, if your goal is to be the lead in a performing group and to become famous and to gain popularity, then sure, like that eventually, maybe at some point, that would have led to like fame. But if you want self-satisfaction, like if you want to feel happy about what you're doing, regardless of how everyone else sees you, then I feel like you and a lot, like not a lot, but you and a few other people were on the right path in the T70 group.
Because, like, yeah, sure, half the shit that Zohair did was kind of shitty, but we were also, like, a team. We went to, like, 2B Swirl's office together. We got us the Comic-Con gig together. We did so much, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I can definitely hit up Zohair for you.
Please do. Let me know what he says. Let me know what he thinks. In all honesty, like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, fuck you, dude. Like, of course I'm gonna bring up some stuff, but like, I just genuinely want to talk to him again. I want to try and like mend shit, you know.
Of course.
Like, I get it. Like, I understand where he's coming from, and I get everything that he's trying to do. And so I think that we're fairly similar than not. So I want to just talk to him, because I remember after I left the group, before I even moved to Boulder, we ran into him. Remember, like him and Sid and Alex were at Caribou, and you and I were also at Caribou. And then we had like this very awkward, all right, goodbye, you know.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So I was wondering if like I could talk to him about all of that, about like what happened at T7D. Why did he say those things to me? And like what kind of joy did he get out of saying all of that stuff to like a little kid?
Well, true. I mean, as a 26-year-old fully grown male, he would probably be in a better mind space, and he'd probably accept if you contacted him and be like, okay, listen, this is what I'm filming, and I really want to, talk to you, like ask you a bunch of questions. I'm doing like a whatever personal research for trying to make a movie or film something about it. So I feel like he might, if he's mature enough, be okay with that. But if he just says like fuck off, then well.
I mean, like I can't do. Yeah, like that's his prerogative. Like I can't do anything at that point. Like if he goes fuck off, then that just shows me what kind of person he is now.
I mean, that just proves everything I've just said about the guy.
Exactly.
And the fact that 5 years later, he still hasn't learned much.
Yeah. Well, thanks for talking to me, man. Like all these years I thought I was a fucking idiot, but like you just boosted my ego up. What?
You were. Let's not
okay.
The people watching this.
Okay.
You were. It's not as one as you thought you were.
Hey, buddy, how are ya?
Hello.
Shit, man.
Holy shit.
Your hair all grown out and everything, huh?
Yeah, it's quarantine hairstyle. What are you gonna expect? Anyway, dude, how have you been? What are you doing now? All grown up? You freaking 5-year-old?
Shit, man, yeah. You make me feel so old now. Bro, I still love T70. Like, I thought about like so much like of what I accomplished, and like my mom, how Indian parents are like, oh, his kid is doing this and that kid's doing that. I'm like, we started out like a magician club in the Middle East when magic was not like the norm. Only like Western organizations would like accommodate that because they knew about it.
Right.
And then to start and to go and perform and to combat, anxiety, and like it takes guts to do that. So
yeah.
Mom and dad never did. So I was always like, everybody who was ever part of the P70, no matter how it ended, I was always like, everybody was a part of that journey.
Yeah.
Everybody, like I remembered. I'm like, I remember when Patrick and I went to meet the marketing head for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy told me, he's like, hey man, he's like, you're a control freak. And I'm like, what? And that's the first time I was ever told that I was a control freak. And then from there on, I started like pondering on that, and I realized I was actually a very massive control freak.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But nobody ever tells you that. Like, you don't realize like your own shortcoming. You're very oblivious to it. So,
yeah. Like, what do you remember of T7D? How did it all begin, and like the entire timeline? Draw it out for me.
So hang on, let me ask you.
Yeah.
What's this about? What prompted you to do this? I'm really curious.
I told you some stuff about a media company, which is true, but I knew from day one that it wouldn't last very long because the people that I started it with, the real reason was I stopped doing magic in 2018. I stopped being a professional magician in 2018. And I don't know, I think in March of 2020, I broke my left wrist. This is my right hand. My left wrist is currently holding onto the phone. But I broke my left wrist in March of 2020, and I remember on the way to the doctor, on the way to the emergency room, I was only saying one thing to my roommate at the time, and that was, I hope I can do magic again. And then when we were talking, like a few days before we talked, I had this sudden epiphany of, man, I burnt so many magic bridges when I was little. I need to go back and mend them, because I can't really do magic with this giant elephant in the room of, yeah, well, what about blank? What about this thing that I left behind? So to answer your question now, I wanted to start doing magic professionally again, because I don't know what to tell you. I'm out of college. I did a degree in something that I didn't even give a fuck about. The only reason I went to college was because my father pushed me to do it, even though I never wanted to go to college in the first place. And now that I'm out of college, I want to start my life as a professional magician. And I wanted to, like, maybe clear the air. I don't know. Like, I wanted to, like, talk to some of the people and friends that have influenced my life and my career so far and my decisions. And I remember, like, a couple months before practicing for Comic-Con and getting ready for Comic-Con, you were like, yeah, don't do anything on stage that overshadows me. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, I'm gonna leave after Comic-Con.
Oh, I said that?
Yeah, you said that to me.
Hang on, I said that?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Oh my god, that's so egotistical.
Do you think I was wrong? Do you think I was wrong in, like, breaking off and trying to do my own thing?
No, I did wish for one thing, and that was when I had told you that I didn't. Hang on. All right, sorry. So I said I did wish for one thing, and that was the timing of you leaving. I had wished if you had done it before Comic-Con, or at least you were upfront with me about it when you were doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because even at that time, I think I told you that if you want to leave, you know, I think, or not you, I said if anybody's to leave after Comic-Con, I would feel so used for the work that I put in. But that being said, you leaving when you left woke me up in some sense.
Well, dude,
like, you know, I learned that you can't really, like, expect everybody to listen to what you got to do, and life's not gonna go your way. And
dude,
yeah.
that means a lot.